Alright, so in this video, I'm going to be talking about Jason Nash, who, if you're not familiar with, at one point he was a successful YouTuber, and he featured in a lot of David Dobrik's vlogs that would get tens of millions of views. He had a good thing going for a while, but that all kind of fell apart the past few years. And now Jason is basically a TikTok panhandler. I think that's the best way to describe it. That's what he's up to now. And I had no idea that was even a thing until he started doing it. So I'll give it to him. He's getting creative and he's still out here hustling. But to be 50 years old doing this every day, I don't know how he does it. I mean, literally, I don't know what's going on in this video.
Guys, are you seeing this? Everybody shout out Mike in the chat. Mike with the galley! Uh-oh. Another galley! Chris Crock is here. Go, Chris. Couldn't reach target. It's fine, Mike. Holy shit. I don't have a six-pack anymore, Dylan Lucas. I'm big as hell.
Yeah, so I'm not totally sure what's going on here, but you could tell whatever it is, it's not good. I mean, if you're relying on people sending you galaxies on TikTok Live to be able to pay your mortgage as an adult with 2 kids, I'd say it's not going too great. But if that's what he wants to do with his life, whatever. You know, I just think it's crazy how far he's fallen. Like at one point, he's probably making, I'd say, at least $1 million a year, and he's in some of the most popular YouTube videos, and now he's relying on TikTok Live to keep him afloat, and he's just barely scraping by. Meanwhile, David Dobrik, who Jason used to do a podcast with, and who Jason provided a lot of content for, is out there living the life. He has a $10 million house. He's making over $10 million a year, just doing Snapchat, like just posting pictures of him flying on private jets, going to nice restaurants, traveling. I mean, he's getting paid a ton of money just for living his life, basically. So he cashed in big time, but his good friend Jason, not so much. He has to spend 8 hours a day doing these TikTok live shows just to keep a roof over his head.
He has something to celebrate because he's made it.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah,
we've talked about this before.
Yeah,
I can't put myself in that mindset. Like,
yeah, he calls me to play pool, and I'm like, I gotta go live, and I don't expect him to understand that. Like I know I've told him. There's also things that I like say to him, and I'm not sure if he hears me. Like I'll say things like, "I'm losing my house," and he'll be like, "Oh, but just come play pool."
It's crazy that David doesn't really care, but also, you know, it's not his responsibility. Like, Jason should have been more prepared for this. You know, once the whole Vlog Squad thing ended and David stopped doing his normal videos, it sounds like Jason didn't know what the hell to do, which is crazy because he has over 3 million subscribers on YouTube, and he was a huge part of David's vlogs, which were getting over 20 million views a video, and he has a lot of connections. He knows a lot of famous people. He can get some big names on his podcast, but it's not doing much for him, and without David, people just don't seem to care. And in David's vlogs, Jason used to joke about like what he would do without David, and I guess he wasn't lying because he is completely lost without him. And what's even funnier about this is they used to have a podcast together, and David got a giant offer to continue it. I think it was $10 million a year just to do a podcast a week for like 40 minutes maybe, and he ended up turning it down. And obviously Jason, he could have really used this money.
Just a little amount of time.
yeah.
I missed the podcast. I missed the money of the podcast.
I see Jason say this on a TikTok clip like every other week.
What do I do?
He turned down $10 million deal.
That's why I don't bring it up or whatever.
It is a crazy concept because you give that concept to anybody else and they're like, what? You wouldn't do that for $10 million?
Yeah. Oh my God.
All you have to do is literally go from your bedroom to your downstairs pantry and talk for 40 minutes for $10 million, and everyone loves you.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that is brutal. You know, Jason probably would have made more money during one 40-minute podcast than he would have his whole year of TikToking. Like, I can't imagine he's making much doing these streams. You could just tell he is desperate. Like, he is down bad, and that's why this is so crazy, and everybody keeps talking about it because everybody knows this is not something he wants to be doing, which he did pretty much admit. Like you said, if he wasn't in such a bad spot financially, he probably wouldn't be doing this.
Look, would I be on TikTok Live if I wasn't in like a financial hole? I don't know, probably not. But also, like, YouTube wasn't really working, and I needed to find something.
Yeah.
And so it was like, all right. TikTok came to me. They're like, we'll help you, and I was like,
oh, that's good.
I was like, okay. And so Yeah, and it's just like, it is what it is.
And I was wondering how he got into it, like why he decided to do TikTok Live. It seems pretty random, but I guess somebody from TikTok reached out to him and said, we'll help you. Like they knew he was struggling and getting desperate. So they're like, all right, you want to come do these live shows where you can beg for money? And I guess that was his only option. Except at that point, I'd say it's probably just better to get a regular job for a while or something, because it's not like this is going to help his career at all. Like he's making money from it, but that's pretty much it. You know, he's not going to gain a fan base with this. He's not going to go anywhere with it. And I don't think he enjoys it too much. So it's just hard to believe that's even worth it for him. And now there's so many videos about this and so many people are goofing on him for it. But he just doesn't seem to care. Like he was talking about one of his live streams during a podcast, and everybody else you could tell is just like, this is crazy. But I think he just accepts, you know what, this is my job now.
And so then I go, Lance, you got a glove? Oh, and a glove means it's times 5 the points. So if you have a glove, it's times 5 the points.
Right, of course.
So I go, is your girl gonna drop the glove? And so, okay, well, tell your mom to drop it at doubles or at this time, you know.
Yeah.
So then the time comes during the match, and the mom doesn't.
I feel like I'm a parent listening to my kid.
Do you have a degree?
Tell me what the internet is.
So
I have
the
no
guy
idea
goes,
what you're talking about.
Wait, let me finish.
Okay.
So then the guy goes, so the time comes to drop the glove, and I'm like, Lance, I'm like, where's the glove? Where's the fucking glove?
Yeah, so you know it's bad when you're talking to people half your age about TikTok and they have no clue what you're talking about. But this is what it's come to for Jason. You know, this is his life now, which is crazy because not too long ago, he was entertaining tens of millions of people, doing wild shit every day, shooting these crazy vlogs, and he probably figured it was never going to end, so he clearly wasn't prepared to do his own thing when he had to. And now his full-time job is begging people for money on TikTok Live. And recently, he actually got his biggest donation yet from Ethan Klein. I think he sent Jason around $1,500, which is weird because just a couple years ago, Ethan was trying to cancel him. Like they had on this former member of the Vlog Squad to talk about how he was sexually assaulted by Jason because they did this prank on him where they told him there's going to be this girl under a mask and he'd make out with her, but it's really Jason under the mask. And when it first happened, he was fine with it. And he's like, yeah, you can upload the video. It's just a prank. It's cool. I'm fine with it. But then as the years went on, I guess he started to realize that it was really a traumatic event. And he went on H3's podcast to talk about how traumatizing it was. And of course, Ethan and Hila were sympathizing with him. And they were saying it was terrible and Jason's a creep. But now they're donating thousands of dollars to him on TikTok Live. So I don't know what the hell happened here.
Yeah.
Money gone, thank you! Big wireless company. Sierra!
You guys can't see it.
Sierra.
Wait,
Oh
what about?
my God, Ethan Klein, 26,000! Wow! A universe from Ethan Klein.
Wait, how much is 26,000?
Oh wow, Ethan Klein, H3. Thank you, Ethan. That's very, very nice.
Watch, I'm gonna send another one. He's gonna freak out.
Oh wow.
I'm sending another one. Watch.
$15. That's nice. I don't know if it's a troll or if it's
No.
it comes in kindness. I'm not sure. Ethan again! Wow! Holy shit!
Another one.
I've never
Let's send
seen this
another
one
one.
before.
I have 180,000
Holy
coins.
shit!
A third one.
Come on, let's go.
Hey
Let's go.
man, thank you for the galaxy. Another one. Ethan, I've never seen that gift before.
Yeah, because
Three
it's
of them.
insane. Who the f
Oh,
would
poor
spend?
Nana. She's getting robbed
I'm
by
seeing the one I
H3
bought
right
was
now.
$44.
I'm about to burst.
Oh
Fuck
my God, that fucking gift.
And people on H3 subreddit are like, did we forget about this? Like, don't you remember what happened? Don't you remember you had this guy on your podcast and talked about how awful Jason is? And it's funny because I'd say part of the reason why Jason's in this position is kind of because of Ethan. Like, obviously, it's mostly because the Vlog Squad was just doing a bunch of stupid shit. But Ethan's the one that first started digging into it and trying to expose David. And that's why I don't think he cares much about this Jason stuff, because he was really doing it to just try to get to David. But I'd say David getting canceled is kind of what led to him deciding to leave YouTube and go to Snapchat, which is what led to Jason having to do TikTok live streams every day. And now the person that canceled him is his biggest donor on TikTok. So it was an interesting turn of events here. You know, maybe Ethan's trying to compensate him for canceling him. No, I think he's probably just trying to get Jason to turn on David now, which I feel like could happen at some point. I know Jason's usually like, I owe David everything. If it weren't for him, I'd have none of this, which definitely is true. But I'd imagine he's starting to feel some resentment towards David, just with the whole podcast thing and him not wanting to continue that. Like, knowing how much it means to Jason and how he could really use the money. Like, just as a good friend of Jason's, you would have thought David would be like, yeah, I could work once a week for an hour. It's not a big deal. And it's not like it's charity work for him. I mean, they would have made $10 million, but I guess David just didn't think it was worth it, and he has better things to do. But he recently showed up at Jason's house, basically to just laugh in his face about it.
Dude, you're kind of becoming a legend on TikTok now.
I know. Not in a good way.
Yeah, but I think it's fun.
Not in a good way.
I've seen TikToks that's like take a shot every time Jason Nash is on live.
And Jason has to be thinking, what has my life come to? But maybe you could get some other failed comedians to join him on there. No, unfortunately, I think even Brendan Schaub has too much self-respect for that. But maybe Bert Kreischer, if things ever fall apart for him, I think he would have fun with it. And him and Jason are kind of friends. He could like drink every time someone donates a galaxy or something. I think Jason should pitch this to him. He might be interested. But we'll see what happens. I think Jason said he's working on a TV show right now, so hopefully he gets something going there. I don't know, but let me know what you guys think about it all down in the comments. And then make sure you check out my Patreon account if you want extra content from me. Like if you want to hear about Michael Richards, Kramer's infamous meltdown at the Laugh Factory, or if you want to hear about the degeneracy of Ari Shaffir, or the worst apology of all time, make sure you go check it out. I'll put a link in the description. And then hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, and I'll catch you at the next video.